we'll just move forward with the next topic, which is job profiles and positions. So let's talk about the job profiles and positions in Workday. Like, what is the relations between the job profile and a position? So like I said, like we have been discussing before, a position is going to be like a role a person is going to occupy. It's like a vacancy. A position is like a vacancy, and any person who occupies that vacancy will be occupying that particular position. However, a job profile is what will define the roles and responsibilities of a position. So a job profile will define the characteristics. It will define the characteristics of a position. And in job profiles, you can provide a lot of other additional details, like what is the job summary, job description, what is the if there are any skills, certifications, education required for that particular job profile. All those details you can provide in the job profile detail. Now, when you are creating a position in Workday, you will be assigning this particular job profile to this position. And when you assign this job profile to the position, this position will automatically take up the characteristics defined in the job profile. So where an employee who will be occupying this particular position will be also using the same job profile that defines the roles and responsibilities for that person while he is in this particular position. So if it's a CEO position, then you will be assigning that position the job profile of CEO, and the person who will be assigned to that particular position will be taking up the roles and responsibilities of a CEO. If you define it for an assistant manager, suppose you create a job profile called assistant manager, you assign that job profile to any of the position, that particular position will now be an assistant manager position, and an employee that will join or who will occupy that particular position will take the roles and responsibilities of the assistant manager of that particular position. So this job profile is what defines the roles and responsibilities for a specific position in Workday. Now you can create multiple job profiles in Workday. Okay, so for every job profile that is required by your client, you can create one job profile. But when you are creating a position, this is what you need to remember. So let's take a job profile called manager, for example. So in your organization, your client has a very basic job profile called manager. Now this particular manager job profile, it is created in a very what we say, in a generic manner. So the roles and responsibilities defined for this particular manager position is generic. So this is like a generic manager responsibilities. Now in that particular company, there are multiple departments. There are, let's say, there are aeronautics, there is healthcare, there is electricity, like electronics department, there is mechanical. Okay, so there are like multiple departments, and in each of these department, they need managers. There are multiple managers required. However, if it's an aeronautics department, you will need an aeronautical manager. If it's a mechanical, you need a mechanical manager. So someone who manages. So the roles, the requirements for each of these department managers will be different. However, in this particular organization, what you have is only a generic job profile. So what you can do is you can still create, let's say you need one position for aeronautics manager. So you are creating a position. So you need one position here. You need position 2. I'm going to just call it position 2, and there is position. You have 3 position. This position is for, let's say, mechanical manager. This position is for, let's say, electrical manager. And this position, let's suppose it's for healthcare manager. Now, when you're creating these positions, you can still use this particular generic job profile to define the characteristics of this position, and then you can change the position title to a mechanical engineer, meaning you can use the same job profile for multiple positions in Workday. However, the vice versa is not possible. So one job profile, so you can use one job profile for multiple positions in Workday. You can create multiple positions in Workday using the same job profile. However, you cannot have one position assigned with multiple job profiles this way. This is not possible. This is not possible in Workday. You cannot have one position with multiple job profiles. One position can only have one job profile. However, one job profile can be used to define multiple positions in Workday. Now let us go and check the characteristics, and let us create a few job profiles in Workday so that you are able to understand how this is created in Workday. If I go to one of the positions that we created in Amazon Global, I'll show you the job profile used there. So I remember we used a job profile called Workday Consultant. If I go here, you can see there are 2 positions. If I look at the position, you see this is a position name, and you see there is a job profile assigned to this position. So when you are creating a position, you have to assign a job profile to the position. Now at the time of creating the position, if you don't assign the job profile, at the time of hiring the employee, you'll have to definitely assign it. I'll explain you a bit. I'll elaborate that particular point. So let's suppose you are creating a new position in Workday. Suppose you're creating a new position in Workday. At the time of creating the position, I am not defining any job restrictions. So you understand what is job restrictions or hiring restrictions, right? This will define what should be the job profile, what should be the location, what is the employee type. Okay, so I am not going to define any of these details at the time that particular job profile is created. I'm just going to say, for now, just create this position without a job profile. So there is no job profile I am defining at the time of creating the position. However, when I start hiring the employee, you will have to provide the job profile. Without job profile, Workday will not let you hire the employee. So the job profile is a mandatory field. However, at the time of creating the job profile, creating the position, it is not mandatory. You can still provide it, but at the time of hiring, that will become a mandatory field in Workday. Okay. So let us go back to tenant. So here you can see when I created these positions, I have provided the job profile for this particular position. So you can see the job profile that I use is Workday Consultant. If I go to this particular job profile in Workday, you can see the details that are defined for this particular job profile. So all these details that you provide in a job profile will define the roles, responsibilities, and characteristics of a job profile. And these are the characteristics that give the roles and responsibilities for a person occupying a particular position in Workday. I'll just go through the fields that are available when you are creating a job profile. I'll just go and create one job profile now. I'll call it as create Job profile. So this is a task for creating a job profile. I'm going to create a job profile called, so I'm just going to create it effective 01/01/2023. I'll call this job profile as um, Amazon Risk Analyst. Okay, so this is the name of the job profile. As you can see, if I scroll down, only the job profile name and the effective date are the mandatory fields. Rest all the other fields in Workday will be optional, meaning you just need to provide the name of the job profile. If I just put the job profile name and submit, it will create a job profile called, it will just create an Amazon Risk Analyst job profile like this, just with the name. Let us go ahead and discuss about what are the other details that are available. So I'm just going to again edit this job profile effective 2023. So this is the, let me go and edit this job profile effective 01/01/2023. Now you can see, as you can see here, the job code, it automatically got assigned. So when you are creating a job profile, if you're not going to provide a job code in Workday, Workday will automatically assign a job code for that particular job profile. If you want to include job code in the title, you can select include job code. So what happens if I do this? Once I submit this, you can see that this particular job code is also included. It will be prefixed with that particular job code. I don't want to use that, so I'll just go back and remove that particular option, include job code in the name. Now, the job title default. If you want to create a job profile with a different name, but the profile, how it looks to the once it is assigned, if you want to label it in a different name, let's say you have Amazon Risk Analyst. So this is the name of the job profile. If you don't use a job title default, what happens is the Amazon Risk Analyst will become the default job title for that particular job profile. However, I don't want to call it Amazon Risk Analyst. I would rather call it Risk Analyst only. So this particular name of the job profile is for myself to keep the inventory or maintain the number of different job profiles. And this is a convention that is used across different um, departments when we are creating a job profile. However, when it is assigned to an employee, when an employee is going to be assigned a job profile, the title of that particular position will show as risk analyst rather than Amazon Risk Analyst. So if you want a different title from the actual job profile name, you can change the job title default. Now the next is restrict to country. So basically restrict to country is, if you want to restrict these job profiles to be used in a specific country. So let's say I only want these job profiles to be used in India. What happens is this will only be available for positions that you're creating in India. If you are creating a position that is not in India or that is not in this restrict to country field, it will not allow you to use those job profiles. So the job profiles that I'm restricted to India will only be able to use in a position that I'm creating for India. I cannot use it in the US. If I don't provide anything, that means that particular job profile can be used anywhere in any country. So there is no restriction specifically. The next is management level in Workday. So now the management level is a way of classifying the job profiles in Workday. So a management level is basically in an organization, there are different levels of management. You have the leadership, you have managers, you have individual contributors, and you have support. Okay, so this is a very basic definition or a basic categorization of management levels in Workday. Now, some clients use these as management levels, just four management levels: leadership management level, managers, individual contributors, and support. So basically, when you are creating a job profile, you will define that this job profile is belonging to a leadership management level. So all the leadership level job profiles like the CEO, CTO, CFO, COO, those kind of job profiles that fall under the leadership category will all be assigned the leadership as the management level. Similarly, anything that is part of managers like assistant manager, senior manager, like mechanical manager, any kind of a manager, or any kind of a supervisor, anything that l- requires you to manage people and do some kind of a people management, those kind of job profiles can be categorized in the management level with managers. So when you're creating the job profile, you'll put manager as the management level if it is not leadership. Now, individual contributors are specifically employees or job profiles that perform independently or require less to no management at all. So, for example, the one that we created previously, like Workday Consultant, it can be an individual contributor profile or any kind of an analyst or any kind of a specific job that comes under the category of an individual contributor. You can put that as individual contributor. Any other job profiles that are like, office boy or um, any other white collar, anything else, you can all categorize them as support management level. Now, these management levels can further be enhanced. What I mean by enhanced is a lot of clients might use the same categorization like the basic four, or some of the clients might go ahead and start using a more elaborative way of defining it. So even within the leadership, they will call it as they will say a leadership, executive leadership. So they will call it as executive. They'll call it as executive and vice president, and they will also add something like senior manager. And then in managers, they will just have manager, they will have supervisor. So you can further elaborate the management levels in Workday and define it. So if I go back to our tenant and if I click on the management levels, you'll see a lot of management levels that are defined. Like you can see manager, individual contributor, chief executive officer, executive vice president, technical lead. So you can create multiple management levels, or you can just stick with some of the basic management levels that I discussed. So it is used for categorization technically, meaning you can report on the number of job profile that falls in the management level leadership. So if I have maybe 20 or 15 job profiles that are that fall in the under the category of uh, leadership, then when you can basically report on that. You can report on that particular management level. You can go to leadership and then you can see that, hey, there are about 15 job profiles that are categorized as a leadership job profile. Similarly for managers and any other management level. So that is the definition of management level. Anything other than that, like the job level that you can see here, we have job level, we have there is one more level here, job category. I don't see the job category here. I think that particular field is hidden in this tenant. But we also have job level and job category. Again, job levels and job category, this is just for the sake of classification. You can create your own job levels. You can have your own job categories, and then you can assign those job levels and categories in the job profile. Now, this is for classification purpose. So in your company, if you want to further bifurcate and classify these different job profiles into different buckets, then you can define the job level and job category. Very few clients use job levels and job categories, in my opinion. I have not worked on much clients that actually use a job level and category, because in most cases, either the job family that we are going to define is going to take care of the job category aspect, so not many use it. Again, job level is also not used because the management level is more than sufficient to define it. But you never know, if a client would like to use job level rather than the management level, then in that case you might want to use the job level. Again, in the job level, you will see, if I go to all job levels here, so you can see, like, these are different job levels that are created. These are all fields, text-based fields. It's not delivered. So you can create a job level called XYZ, then you will see that XYZ's job level over here. Okay. Now the next one is the job family. Now this is important. So whenever you create a job profile in Workday, this is how the hierarchy works for a job profile. First, you will have something called as a job family group in Workday. Okay, so you will have a job family group, then you will have a job family, and then you have job profiles in Workday. So this is again similar to the hierarchy that we created, like the cost center hierarchy. However, if I take an organization level hierarchy, you can create X number of levels, basically N number of levels. You can have as many levels of hierarchy that you want in this way. However, when it comes to the job profile hierarchy, you can only create 3 levels. So only 3 levels are available in Workday. First, you will create job profiles. So for example, let's say I have a job profile this way. I'm going to create Workday HCM analyst. I'll say Workday comp analyst. I'll say Workday recruitment analyst and Workday payroll analyst. Okay, so these are the different job profiles that I have defined for our in my organization. So 4 job profiles. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Now these job profiles can be further categorized as, I'm also going to add Workday Finance. You can add these job profiles to specific job families. So I'll say that this, this, these 3 job profiles basically are going to be under Workday HCM family. So I'm going to define a job family and call that particular job family as HCM job family. And I'm going to call this as payroll finance job family. Now here I can add multiple job profiles that are part of this particular job family this way. And I can say that these 2 job profiles are part of payroll finance job family. I can further create another job family group here and call it Workday job family. Okay, so in the Workday job family group, you have 2 job families. You have HCM job family, and then you have payroll finance job family. All the jobs that you create, which are part of all the job profiles that you create, you'll have to add it to a job family. So I'll say these 3 job profiles are going to be assigned to HCM job family, and it will automatically assign So it will automatically say that the job family of this particular job profile is Workday HCM job family, and the job family group is Workday job family group. And similarly, this is going to happen for here as well. Now, the reason we have it is for cataloging purposes. Now, if you the cataloging is important so that in the for the this is basically for the maintenance purpose. So if you have categorized it this way, it is very easy to maintain rather than going through each job profile. For example, in your company, suppose you have about 300 job profiles. It will be very difficult to manage this in the future. If you want to make any updates or changes, you'll have to practically go and search for each job profile and check, okay, and understand, okay, which job profiles might need a change, and you'll have to determine, okay, these specific job profiles will have to be updated. But if you have categorized all these job profiles in this way, then you can specifically understand, hey, these job profiles in these job family is affected, we'll have to make changes to these job profiles, or job profiles in all these job family groups need to be updated. Okay, so you can have in your company, you can have multiple job family groups. So that there can be I'm just going to say JFG1, job family group 1, job family group 2. Okay, this way you can have multiple job family groups in Workday. Okay, job family group 4. In job family group 1, you may be having like 5 job family groups. Here let's say 3, here let's say 4, here let's say 6. So these are the different job families in each of these job family group, and each of these job families will have their own set of job profiles. So let's say this is a job family group in Workday. These both are job families that are part of this particular job family group, and these are the job profiles in each of these job family groups in Workday. Sorry, in each of these job families in Workday. So this is how the hierarchy goes, and it is for maintenance purpose. Any questions about job family and job family groups in Workday? So I'm going to see what are the job families that are available right now. So if I go and look for, oh, there are too many job families. So what I'm going to do is I'll just duplicate this particular tab right here, and I'll create my own job family and job family group. So instead of creating an Amazon risk analyst, I'll say, I'll just create the example that we just discussed. I'll just call it as Workday HCM consultant. Here I'll just say HCM consultant. Now let us create a job family in Workday. So I'll say create job family. I'll call this Workday HCM job family. I'll just click OK here. I need to create another job family as well. So let me create the other job family. This is finance, payroll, and finance job family. Okay, so I created two different job family. Now let me also create a job family group in Workday. So you can see create job family group. I will call this job family group okay, so effective 1/1/2023. I'll call this job family group Workday job family group. Now here you can define which job families are part of this particular job family group. So here I'm going to search HCM job family, the one that we created. So Workday HCM job family, this is the one that we just created. And I also have payroll and finance. So I'll say payroll and finance job family. So you can see payroll and fin job family that we created. I'm going to click OK now. Now let me create this particular job profile, and here I'll say that this job profile belongs to the family of Workday HCM job family. So if I go to this particular job family here, you can see this job family is part of this particular job family group. If I go to this job family group, it will show me all the job families that are included in this particular job family group in Workday. So I'll say here Workday HCM job family. Here you will define the job profile summary. So this is the job profile summary for Workday HCM consultant. This is like a field which will define, which will summarize this particular job profile. So I am just going to give like samples over here, but basically this will summarize the job profile. This is the job description. And if you also want an internal job description. Now, the reason there is two different job description boxes, like job description and internal job description. Now you understand Workday has Workday recruitment as well. So whatever you put in this job description will be used for posting it externally on the career website. However, if you want to use a different job description internally for these job profiles, you can have two different job descriptions defined in Workday. So that is about the job description. I will come back to job classifications in a bit. Now, the next one is company insider type. Now, this is very rarely used. However, some companies or some offices do use company insider types. Now, let me explain what exactly is a company insider type. Now, there are a lot of companies that are IPOs, right? Meaning they are publicly traded companies. So what does it mean by a publicly traded company? They do have stocks that are traded on stock brokering websites. So the company has the company stocks. Now, in a company, especially if you are part of a leadership, you will have, or even if you are part of any board of directors, if you are a board of directors, you would you might have information that is very that can potentially I'm just going to say, let's say this company is a pharma company. Okay, what we have is a pharma company, and the board of directors in this company, they do have shares of this particular company, right? They do have the pharma company shares. Now, this particular pharma company had made a breakthrough and they developed a cancer medicine. And this is a publicly traded company. So it's an IPO, it's a publicly traded company. Now, the board of directors will know this particular information about the cancer cure that particular pharma company has developed before the rest of the world knows. So technically, these people can, let's say they buy multiple stock options in this particular company before this news gets out. And when the news gets out, these stocks will shoot in value because they just this is going to make this particular company very valuable, and a lot of people are going to buy the stocks, which will by in turn increase the stock value of these board directors. Now, there are certain legal compliances to doing that, and a lot of countries will not allow you to do insider trading. So if you have heard about this particular term called as insider trading, meaning if you are a company insider, you have certain information about that particular company that can potentially increase or can affect the value of the stocks. And it's not just about buying the stocks, also about selling stocks. Okay, if that particular if the board of directors know that this company is going to go bankrupt soon, or there has been a very there has been some incident in this company that is going to potentially decrease the value of that particular company, so they cannot do any kind of insider trading. And there are certain legal compliances that are, or federal compliances I can say, which is something that is defined by the law of that particular law of the country. So in India, we have some specific insider trading laws. Similarly, in the US, we do have certain insider trading laws. So if that particular company is a public traded company, then you will have to create job profiles and define these job profiles as company insider type. So if there are certain job profiles that you're going to assign to the employees, and you have to you think, or the client thinks that those particular job profiles are would come under company insider, then you'll have to specifically mention that as company insider. So job classifications are basically, again, it's a classification methodology. However, this is mostly used in the cases where companies have to report on the number of job profiles that are there in their organization to the government. Now, let us take, for example, Canada. We have this country, Canada. In Canada, what we have is whenever um, if you if you are aware, or if you are aware of the PR process here. Whenever someone applies for a PR, they will have to select the occupation, that occupation code. Basically, occupation code is something like, let's say, Workday consultant. Okay, Workday consultant will fall under a specific occupation code, and this is defined by the country itself, saying that anything that falls under this particular job profile will fall in this particular occupation code. Now, what companies will have to do is, they will have to, whenever they create these job profile, they'll also have to add a job classification stating this particular job profile falls under this particular job classification, called technical something. Technical job is the job classification, suppose. Now they will have to report this to the government, saying that we have 10 job profiles, and that fall under the category of job classification technical analyst. Okay, now this particular analytic will be used by that particular country for doing any kind of an analysis, especially in this case for PR. So who should be granted PR? They will check if there are occupations that are available in their country for those specific occupation codes, and based on that, they will approve or deny entry into that country. So let's say they want skilled workers, they'll first check if the skills of the worker is also in demand or not. Okay, so this is one of the main reasons that they use job classification. Otherwise, there are countries and there are certain states in the US that will request the companies to report on the job profiles, or they want to understand the job classifications in their organization for any kind of analytics. So anything that they have to report to the government, they will define these job classifications. Now, in India, we don't have any such job classification. So this is very country specific. Only if the country is only if it is required for in that particular country to report on the job profiles, then only this is required, or else it is not required. Okay, but it's good to know that the reason we have job classifications here. You can go by, if I go by job classification groups, so now you can see there are a lot of job classification groups created. Now these are some of the delivered job classification groups, and this is how it is going to see. You will have code numbers like 1112, director and chief executives of a major organization. So you can select this particular job classification, and when you report it to work when you report it to the government, they will look at this particular code and they understand, okay, this particular job profile will fall under this particular job classification in Workday. Now let me go back to the supervisory org Amazon Global, and let me go to the other position that we created called Workday HCM consultant. So let me open this particular position here. Now, if you see here, this position has the job description summary as um, Workday HCM job profile sample summary. This particular detail will come from the job profile that is selected. So it is automatically picking it up from the job profile. If I look at the other position that we created, we have not defined any job description summary for that particular job position. So you won't be seeing any such detail here. So if I go to the position overview, you see there is no summary at all because we have not defined any job description or job description summary for that particular job profile in Workday. So you have a task called as configure optional fields in Workday. So in these optional fields, now there are a certain number of fields which you can make it as required or optional. It's not something that every field can be configured as optional or every field can be made as mandatory. Workday provides a certain set of fields which you can configure it as optional or required. Now, in this our case, we have job profile. So let me just search for job profile. You can see, like when I was explaining, I said job category was made, has been hidden in this particular tenant. If I remove this from here, and if I go to the job profiles that we just created, if I edit this job profile, you can see job category as one of the available fields now. So job level is also there. The job category is also there. Now, some clients will say that, hey, we don't use these things, so I don't want to confuse my HR analyst. I want to hide that particular field. So you can also hide them this way. So I'll go to configure optional fields and I'll say manage job profiles here. So the manage job profile. Now, these are the fields that are available for you to hide. So let's say I don't use allowed unions. I don't want to use company insider type. I don't want to use critical job is not something that I use. Difficulty to fill is not something that I want to use. Suppose referral payment, restrict to country is a field that I want to use as a mandatory field. Suppose I'm just doing some mix and match here. Um, Union management level is something that I want to use. So suppose these are the fields that you have selected. I will hide these fields. So here there are three options: hide for all. You have require for all. So I'll say management level. I want to require for all. Restrict to country, I want to hide for all. Difficulty to fill, hide for all. Hide for all. And here, I mean, I'm just going to just explain it to you saying security group. If I say security group, you can say that this particular field will be hidden for a specific security, but will be required for some other security. So basically, if a specific type of role is executing this edit job profile transaction, then they will see certain fields as mandatory, whereas some other security groups will see specific fields as mandatory. So I want to hide this, let's say compensation, for example. Let's say compensation grade. I want it to be hidden for, let's say, the employee. So I'll say hidden for employee as self. Or maybe HR partner. There are a lot of securities. So we will discuss security in detail later, but for now, just understand I'm hiding it for a specific security group, but enabling it only for admins here. So I'll say only the HR admin will be able to update the compensation grade, and rest everyone will not be able to upgrade it. We will discuss this on a later time. there's hide for all or require for all. I mean, specific to the security group. For now, I'll just use the two options. One is require for all, or the other one is hide for all. And I'm going to click OK. Now here also, I would like to hide this, hide for all. Now, if I go and edit this particular security group, so let me cancel this and again edit this as of today. Now you would see that a lot of options are now not available. I don't see the union. Did I configure allow unions? It is hide for all. Yeah, it's not. Unions are hidden. Union memberships are not. However, you can see that some of the other fields that we have defined, like the insider trading, the company insider. So these fields, the restrict to country, I don't see restrict to country as a field available here. I don't see difficulty to fill over here. So those fields I have hidden. Now, depending upon what your client would need and not need, you can define which fields you would like to enable and which fields you don't want to enable in Workday.